My name is Nathan Walters, and I'm a senior chemical engineer at Louisiana Tech.
My name is Grant Vial, and I'm a senior chemical engineering student at Louisiana Tech.
And this is the large distillation column for the senior lab. For this experiment, make sure you are wearing proper PPE, so your hard hat and your safety glasses. We also have some safety hazards that you want to be aware of. First, make sure that you don't touch the reboiler or the copper pipes leading out of the reboiler, because they are very hot. Additionally, there will also be a lot of spillage coming out of the buckets, so it is a slip, trip, fall hazard. Finally, maintain 3 points of contact when climbing up and down the ladders to make sure you don't fall.
Before beginning the experiment, record initial temperatures so adjustments can be made later if needed. In this experiment, the column will be used to separate isopropanol and N-propanol, two isomers of propanol. This is the feed drum. The pump right here will be used to transport the feed into the trays, which are on the second floor. This is the reboiler. It's a kettle reboiler. In here contain both isomers. You're going to have steam coming in to bring the mixture back to a vapor. It's going to go up through this pipe back up to the second floor. This is a pipe that comes from the reboiler. You're going to want to make sure this valve is open so that vapors can go through the column.
These white probes are temperature probes. They take the temperature of each tray and send a digital reading to the control room so you can monitor the temperatures. The vapor produced from the column will be condensed into a distillate stream, so you want to make sure the valves on the bottom of the distillate tanks are open, so they can be drained and recycled to the feed along with the bottom stream. This is the feed line to the feed tray on the distillation column.
Once you have determined which tray is being used as a feed tray, you'll want to come to the third floor. You want to make sure this valve is open because this is the pipe that the vapor product from the column passes through to get to the condenser. Additionally, make sure this valve is closed so that the vapor coming from the reboiler doesn't bypass the column and comes straight to the condenser. Cooling water enters the condenser from here. This temperature probe records its temperature. The distillate streams come from the condenser to the accumulator and go back down the side of the column. It then gets split into the reflux stream, which is fed back into the column. The leftover distillate is fed back to the distillate tank.
Before doing anything, make sure to turn on your cooling water by turning on this valve here. Once you're ready to start running the column, the first thing to do is check the level inside the reboiler, which is found at this sight glass. If it's not up to halfway, then turn the main pump switch on and then flip the feed pump switch on as well. This is the main switch and this is the feed switch. This will pump propanol from the feed tank into the reboiler. Once the feed tank is filled halfway, turn on the steam to the reboiler by opening up first this valve and then the valve behind. This temperature probe will give you the temperature of the steam, and the pressure valve will show you the pressure, which can be used to look up the steam tables for the properties. Additionally, check here in the corner of the room to make sure the main steam line is on. If this is inside of it, it is closed. If the rod is outwards, it is open.
The control room is where you can monitor all of your temperatures. Always keep one team member in here during the runs. Double click on Start Station. Once that opens, you're going to want to come to LA Tech and click on Distillation. Here you can see all of your temperatures, including tray temperatures, cooling water temperatures, and condensate temperatures from your reboiler and condenser. You can also click on Louisiana Tech, come down here to column graph. Here you can see that the column is off. This is column profile. It shows you temperatures of each tray. Once your temperature stops changing in the control room, you need to make sure that you're at steady state by making sure that the level in your reboiler and the feed tank are unchanging. If they are steady, you're going to want to collect mass flow rates of the condensate from the reboiler and the cooling water from the condenser right here. You're also going to want to record the distillate and bottoms flow rates in the feed tank. Measuring inside the feed tank will require a smaller cup or flask. You can use the scales to find the mass. Measuring the cooling water from the condenser will require a 1-gallon bucket. One team member can operate the bucket while another operates a stopwatch.
To adjust the reflux ratio, open up this valve and choke down on this valve until you have the desired reflux ratio. Once steady state is achieved, record values from the control room using a USB drive. Let the propanol pump and cooling water keep going until your tray temperature reaches below 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Then turn those off too. The end.